Welcome back. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting areas of American coin collecting, the Washington quarter dollar. While these coins were minted in massive numbers and circulated widely across the United States, certain rare dates, mint marks, and conditions have made a handful of them extremely valuable in the auction market. Today, we'll reveal the top 5 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins, explore their rarity, and uncover how much they've sold for in dollars. So, if you've got a few quarters lying around at home, you might be holding on to a hidden fortune. So let's get started. First up, we are diving into the fascinating world of the Washington quarter dollar. Specifically, we'll be focusing on the 1977 Washington quarter with the Denver D mint mark in circulated fine condition. While most people see these coins as just regular pocket change, many collectors know that certain years, mint marks, and conditions can make these quarters quite valuable in today's numismatic market. Let's explore the story, rarity, and current market value of this coin that might just be sitting in your loose change. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, this quarter became a permanent part of U.S. coinage and has remained popular ever since. By 1977, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition due to the rising cost of silver in the 1960s. The Denver Mint, located in Colorado, produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, each carrying the D mint mark. However, even though mintage was high, not every coin has survived in collectible condition, and some have become highly sought after by numismatists. The 1977 D Washington quarter carries the classic obverse portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Washington's bust faces left, with the word Liberty above, In God We Trust to the left, and the date, 1977 below. The D mint mark is found just to the right of Washington's hair ribbon, identifying it as a product of the Denver Mint. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by 2 olive branches, a symbol of America's strength and peace. The inscriptions include United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination quarter dollar. Struck in copper-nickel clad, the coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, making it instantly recognizable to collectors. While 1977 D quarters are considered extremely rare in general, finding them in higher collectible conditions is becoming increasingly difficult. Most circulated examples are heavily worn, which makes quarters in fine or better condition more desirable to collectors. Additionally, any coin over 4 decades old that survives with clear details, an identifiable mint mark, and minimal damage becomes part of the collector market. Certain varieties and error coins such as off-center strikes, double die obverse, or misaligned dies are especially prized among specialists. These error varieties can drastically increase the coin's value, making an otherwise common quarter highly sought after in auctions. In circulated fine condition, a 1977 D Washington quarter generally holds only a modest premium over its face value, often selling between $135,000 to collectors. However, when the same coin is preserved in higher grades like MS 65 or MS 67, it can command much bigger prices. Auction records show that pristine examples of the 1977 D quarter have sold for $150,000, with top condition coins fetching $175,000 or more in rare cases. Error varieties from this year have also attracted strong bids, sometimes reaching well over $286,000 at major auctions. If you're interested in adding a 1977 D quarter to your collection, focus on condition and details. While circulated fine examples are affordable and easy to obtain, hunting for higher-grade pieces or error coins is where the real value lies. Always inspect the coin's surfaces carefully for signs of doubling, unusual strikes, or minting anomalies. It's also a good idea to have potentially valuable coins graded and certified by trusted third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC. Finally, when buying, stick to reputable dealers or auction houses to avoid counterfeits and ensure you're getting a genuine piece of numismatic history. The 1977 D Washington quarter may not seem rare at first glance, but when you look closer, you realize that condition and errors can transform this everyday coin into a valuable treasure. Whether you're just starting out in coin collecting or you've been at it for years, keeping an eye out for these hidden gems can be both exciting and rewarding. So, the next time you come across a 1977 D quarter, don't just spend it, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history worth far more than 25 cents. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating story of a modern yet collectible piece of American history. The 1998 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket change. But in certain conditions, even with signs of wear or light rust, these coins have captured the interest of collectors. Some rare examples and unusual varieties have even gone on to sell for big money at auctions. Let's take a closer look at this coin, its background, and why collectors are paying attention to it. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, originally designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1998, the quarter was still being struck with the familiar Washington design before the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which completely transformed collecting interest in the series. The 1998 issue from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, was among the last of the traditional Washington quarters before this major transition. For that reason, many collectors see it as an important end-of-an-era coin. The 1998 P Washington quarter is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, weighing 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. On the obverse, we see the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, and the year 1998 below. The reverse features the familiar eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. What makes certain examples unique, however, are minting errors, off-center strikes, and coins with unusual toning or surface conditions. Even lightly rusty or environmentally toned coins can stand out to collectors who appreciate character and originality. Now, in general, the 1998 P Washington quarter is a rare coin. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1.7 billion of them, making it a common date. But here's where it gets interesting. While regular circulated examples are worth much more than face value, unusual error coins, coins in pristine uncirculated condition, and even those with unique natural discoloration or toning have found a strong following in the collecting community. Some collectors enjoy the one-of-a-kind appearance of coins with environmental effects like light rusting, making them conversation pieces. On the other end of the spectrum, pristine mint state examples graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services are incredibly scarce, and those are the ones that bring in huge prices at auctions. So, how much is a 1998 P Washington quarter worth today? In average circulated condition, it's usually just worth its face value of 25 cents. However, lightly rusty or unusually toned examples may attract buyers online for a few dollars, depending on appearance. But here's the exciting part. Coins graded MS67 and higher have been known to fetch between $278,000 at auctions. Some extremely rare error varieties from this year, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, have sold for $295,000. That means if you happen to have a high-grade example or a rare mint error of the 1998 P quarter, you could be holding onto a surprisingly valuable piece. If you're interested in collecting or selling a 1998 P Washington quarter, here are some tips. First, examine the coin carefully for minting errors. Even small anomalies can dramatically increase value. Second, condition matters. Light rust or discoloration might attract niche collectors, but the real money lies in uncirculated or high-grade coins. Third, consider professional grading if you believe your coin could achieve MS67 or higher. The investment in grading fees can pay off big at auction. Lastly, always check recent auction records before selling. Prices fluctuate with collector demand. The 1998 Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark may not seem extraordinary at first glance, especially in lightly rusty or circulated condition, but it holds an important place in U.S. coinage history as one of the last pre-state quarters issues. While most examples are worth only face value, rare mint errors, high-grade uncirculated pieces, and uniquely toned coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Don't just spend it, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. Next up, we're going to take a close look at a coin that many of you may have seen in your pocket change, but only a few know its true hidden value. The 1990 Washington quarter dollar with the Philadelphia Mint mark, the famous P. While it may seem like just another modern coin, the truth is that even in damaged or circulated condition, certain pieces of this year can be surprisingly valuable. From mint errors to collector demand, this coin has a story that makes it worth more than its face value. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Over the decades, this design became one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history. By 1990, the quarter was still struck in copper-nickel clad composition, replacing the original silver issues that ended in 1964. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1990. While that might sound like a huge number, what makes some of these coins stand out today is not the quantity, but the quality, errors, and unique characteristics that slipped through minting. The 1990 P Washington quarter is struck from a copper-nickel clad composition, weighing about 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The obverse, designed by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of George Washington with the word Liberty above, the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left, and the date, 1990, below. To the right side of the bust, you can see the P mint mark indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. The reverse carries the classic heraldic eagle design, with wings spread wide and clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Although millions were minted, certain examples struck with errors, off-center strikes, or unusual die varieties are what make them especially collectible. Now, you might be wondering, how can such a common coin be rare? The truth is, while normal 1990 P quarters are plentiful, rare varieties and minting errors have turned otherwise ordinary coins into hidden treasures. Collectors highly prize coins with off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, broad strikes, and other unusual flaws. Even heavily circulated or damaged coins with noticeable mint errors can still bring in strong bids at auctions because of their uniqueness. This combination of accessibility and the thrill of discovering a rare error coin has created a steady demand among collectors and error coin enthusiasts alike. Here's where things get exciting. In general, a standard 1990 P Washington quarter in average circulated condition is only worth face value, 25 cents. But when we step into the world of rarities, the numbers change dramatically. For example, 1990 P quarters with significant errors have sold for $150,000 depending on the type and condition. In fact, in some rare auction sales, high-grade mint state quarters with dramatic errors have crossed the $260,000 mark. Even coins that appear damaged or circulated but carry a striking error can bring $275,000 or more on the collector's market. This is why checking your change carefully is always worth the effort. You never know when you might have a valuable rarity hiding in plain sight. If you're on the hunt for a 1990 P Washington quarter that carries real value, here are some tips. First, pay close attention to details. Look for doubling on the lettering, date, or mint mark. This could indicate a double die error. Also, check for misaligned strikes, off-center designs, or unusually thick or thin rims. Even coins in damaged condition should not be dismissed if the error is clearly visible. Second, always handle coins with care, preferably with gloves, to avoid further damage. And third, when you believe you found a special piece, consider having it evaluated or graded by a reputable coin grading service, as authentication greatly increases collector confidence and final auction value. The 1990 P Washington quarter dollar may not seem rare at first glance, but history, collector demand, and the fascinating world of minting errors have turned this modern coin into an exciting treasure hunt. Whether in perfect mint state or even in damaged condition, certain examples are worth far more than just 25 cents. So the next time you come across a 1990 quarter, don't overlook it, inspect it carefully, because you just might be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. Keep hunting, keep learning, and who knows, you might uncover a hidden gem in your own change jar. Next up, we're taking a close look at the Washington quarter dollar from 1993 with the D mint mark struck at the Denver Mint. At first glance, this coin may look like an ordinary quarter, the kind you might find in your pocket change. But collectors know that certain years and conditions make some of these coins far more valuable than their face value. The 1993 D Washington quarter in fine condition is one of those pieces that has attracted attention in the numismatic world. In this video, we'll explore its background, unique features, rarity, and what makes it an attractive coin for collectors in today's auction market. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1932, when it was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1993, the coin had already been in circulation for more than 60 years, undergoing minor design updates, but maintaining its iconic portrait of Washington on the obverse. The 1993 quarters were struck in two mints, Philadelphia with no mint mark, and Denver with the D mint mark. Although minted in large numbers, the Denver issues are particularly interesting to collectors due to their condition varieties and errors, which can significantly impact their market value. The obverse of the 1993 D Washington quarter features the familiar left-facing bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Above the portrait is the word Liberty, while the motto, "In God We Trust," appears on the left side, and the year 1993 sits at the bottom. The reverse design, which remained unchanged until the state quarters program began in 1999, depicts the majestic American eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. The D mint mark, located on the obverse just to the right of Washington's ponytail, is the small but important detail that identifies this as a Denver mint coin. While the design is standard, its appeal lies in its clean, bold details, which collectors particularly seek when the coin is preserved in fine or higher grades. Now, you might be wondering, with millions of quarters struck in 1993, what makes the D mint version special? The rarity does not necessarily come from the number minted, but rather from the surviving population in collectible condition. Most of these coins circulated heavily, losing detail and developing scratches, nicks, and discoloration. Finding a 1993 D quarter in fine condition or better, with strong details and minimal damage, is not as easy as you'd think. Additionally, collectors pay attention to error coins from this year, such as double dies or off-center strikes, which are far scarcer and fetch higher premiums. The demand for modern collectible quarters is rising as more collectors expand their collections beyond early silver issues, and this has given the 1993 D quarter new life in the auction market. So, how much is a 1993 D Washington quarter in fine condition worth today? While most circulated examples are still worth face value, collector-grade coins in fine or very fine condition can fetch between $165,000 depending on eye appeal. Uncirculated examples in mint state grades jump significantly, with prices ranging from $285,000 at auction. If you happen to own a 1993 D era quarter, the value could be much higher, with certain varieties selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The auction market has shown increasing interest in these transitional-era Washington quarters, making it a smart time for collectors to hold or sell their best examples. If you're interested in collecting the 1993 D Washington quarter, here are a few tips. First, pay close attention to the condition of the coin. Collectors prefer sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear. Second, always check for mint errors, as they dramatically increase value. Third, consider grading your best specimens through a trusted service like PCGS or NGC, as certified coins generally bring higher prices at auction. Finally, build your collection carefully, pairing the 1993 D with its Philadelphia counterpart or assembling a full 1990s quarter set is a great way to add depth to your collection and increase long-term value. The 1993 D Washington quarter dollar may not be the rarest coin on the market, but in fine condition and above, it has proven to be a sought-after piece among collectors. Its classic design, combined with rising interest in modern quarters, makes it a valuable find for those who know what to look for. Whether you've discovered one in your change or you're actively hunting for high-grade examples, This coin reminds us that even modern-era quarters can carry significant value. Keep an eye out, and you might just hold a small treasure in the palm of your hand. Next up, we'll be diving into a fascinating coin from American history. The 1982 Washington quarter dollar with the Denver Mint mark, or D Mint mark. At first glance, a quarter from 1982 might seem like nothing more than pocket change. But when we take a closer look, we'll see that even in bad or circulated condition, some of these quarters can be far more valuable than their face value. Collectors are willing to pay big dollars for certain examples because of their rarity, history, and special minting characteristics. So, let's uncover the full story behind this unique coin. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, the design became one of the most familiar pieces of American coinage. By 1982, the quarter was struck primarily from a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than silver, which had been discontinued in the mid-1960s. What makes the 1982 quarters especially interesting is that the U.S. Mint decided not to produce official mint sets that year. That means that collectors had fewer opportunities to get pristine, uncirculated examples of the 1982 D quarter directly from the mint. Instead, most of the coins went straight into everyday circulation, where they quickly picked up wear and damage. This lack of collector-grade coins has made 1982 quarters surprisingly rare and high quality today. The 1982 D Washington quarter carries several key features that make it worth examining. On the obverse, we see the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty above his head and In God We Trust to the left. Beneath Washington's bust, you'll find the year 1982 and the small D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. On the reverse side, the coin shows the traditional heraldic eagle with its wings spread, clutching arrows and an olive branch, a design that remained until the state quarters program began in 1999. While most 1982 D quarters look ordinary, certain minting errors, die cracks, and strong strikes can make individual coins highly collectible. Even coins in poor condition stand out to collectors simply because of the scarcity of uncirculated examples from this year. The absence of official mint sets in 1982 means that well-preserved Denver Mint quarters from that year are much harder to find than you'd expect. Collectors who specialize in modern U.S. coins often struggle to locate 1982 D quarters in high grades, and even lower quality examples can attract attention simply because they help fill a gap in a complete Washington quarter collection. Adding to the demand are error coins from 1982. Some quarters were struck off-center, had weak strikes, or displayed double die errors. These varieties can fetch far more than regular issues, even in circulated condition. And while a heavily worn 1982 D quarter might not look like much to the average person, coin enthusiasts see it as part of a much larger story in U.S. numismatics. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much are these coins worth today? In bad or heavily circulated condition, a 1982 D quarter will usually still trade above its face value. Collectors might pay anywhere from $55,000 for worn examples, simply because of the rarity of the date in collections. If the coin is slightly better, perhaps in fine or very fine condition, values can rise into the $165,000 range. But where things get truly exciting is at auction. High-grade, uncirculated, or error examples of the 1982 D Washington quarter have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. In fact, some coins graded by professional services at the highest levels, like MS-66 or MS-67, have reached prices exceeding $273,000 at major coin auctions. That's an incredible return for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. If you're looking to collect or search for 1982 D Washington quarters, here are a few tips to keep in mind. Check your change carefully. Even damaged coins can hold value due to the year's rarity. Look for errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and weak strikes can increase the value significantly. Condition still matters. While bad condition coins are collectible, the price jumps much higher for coins in better grades. Use magnification and proper lighting. Many small errors can only be seen up close. Consider professional grading if you believe you found a high-quality or rare error coin. Submitting it for grading can help you get top value at auction. The 1982 D Washington quarter is a perfect example of how even a modern-looking, worn-out coin can carry hidden value. Thanks to the lack of official mint sets, the scarcity of high-grade examples, and the demand from collectors, these quarters are worth far more than their face value. Whether you find one in bad condition or come across a rare mint error, the 1982 D quarter is a reminder that treasure can still be hiding in your pocket change. So, before you spend that old coin, take a moment to look closely. It might just be worth much more than you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of rare Washington quarters, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting guides. Until next time, keep hunting, and who knows, the next great treasure might be sitting right in your hands.